On today's show, I want to talk about a Browns draft target that I don't believe we have spent enough time discussing. Now, before we get to that, do me a big favor and click that thumbs up button down below if you have not already. I want to reach 500 likes on today's show. There's been some chatter recently surrounding the Browns and Travis Hunter at pick number 2. I don't think it's gotten to the point where we can call it like smoke. There's a lot of smoke around Abdul Carter right now, but there is definitely some momentum behind Hunter. I mean, go back to like the first glimpse of draft odds for the Browns. This is from January, and BetUS had Jalen Milroe at plus 350. So I wouldn't say take draft odds to heart, but find some balance between that and a grain of salt because they can be a little bit ridiculous. But as we get closer to the draft, they get much more accurate. I mean, you go to late March, and Travis Hunter was at plus 750 for the Browns at pick number 2. Fast forward to early April now, and he's gone all the way up to plus 240. So you are seeing a trend right now with Hunter to the Browns at number 2. And I think a reason why is the odds makers update the odds as more leaks and information come out. And Andrew Berry has been very upbeat when talking about the do-it-all man from Colorado. At the NFL owners meeting, he had an opportunity to talk about Hunter as well. But you go all the way back to the NFL Combine, and he was asked, hey, so when it comes to Travis Hunter, what do you guys think he's going to be at the next level, a receiver or a corner? And his response was very important. I want to revisit it right now.
I'd say this, in terms of Travis Hunter, cornerback or receiver, the answer is yes. So he can play both, and I think that's what makes him special. We would see him as a receiver primarily first, but I think part of, again, what makes him a bit of a unicorn is the fact that he can do both at a high level.
His answer is a big reason why I haven't talked about Hunter a lot on the channel, because I never felt like it had a great chance of happening. Because if they view him as a wide receiver, I don't think the Browns are going to be targeting a wide receiver at pick number 2. And I think this is one of those like green glass door situations where I believe, one, it's incredibly difficult to play both ways in the NFL because of how extensive the playbooks are. Like, I think physically it can be done, but learning an offense and defensive playbook as a rookie, it's tough enough to learn even 50% of one as a rookie. And to learn both, I think that is somewhat out of question here. But I do think if it was possible, it would look like you play corner and you play 10 to 15 snaps of wide receiver. I don't think you can play wide receiver and then play corner. Because if you play receiver and play corner on the side, if you're tired as a corner, that causes a touchdown. If you're tired as a receiver, you just don't get the ball thrown your way. And that doesn't cause a touchdown for the opposing team. So with Andrew Berry saying we view him as a wide receiver, I always felt like, ooh, that probably takes a bit of a blow to the possibility of him coming to Cleveland, because I don't see someone playing both ways that's predominantly a receiver. And Hunter as a receiver, I don't know if he's number 2 pick overall good. And I know that's unfair to him, and we'll look at his stats, but number 2, that's a really good draft pick, and you got to have a high standard and a high bar for that. And we'll look at that in just a moment here, but the draft is less than 3 weeks away, so help us continue to grow as a channel, and in return, we're going to get you free draft content, pick-by-pick analysis, and we are going to be live for the NFL draft, so come hang out with us, get the picks as soon as they come out, and you don't have to sit through a bunch of ESPN commercials. Now, this past week, the NFL owners meeting convened in Florida, and Berry and Stefanski and Haslam were all there. And Andrew Berry spoke to the media for a little bit, and Hunter came up. I can't play the clip because of stupid copyright laws, but I can just pass along what the sentiment was for Berry. And it was, he has a hard-on for Travis Hunter. He talked about Champ Bailey and Charles Woodson and how people compare Hunter to those two guys. And Berry was basically saying by the end of it, this guy's on a different level. He had more receiving yards his last year at Colorado than Bailey and Woodson had in their entire collegiate careers combined. The guy was just oozing love for Hunter as a player and maybe as a person, I don't know. But defensively, He's got 7 interceptions in the FBS level the last 2 seasons. He's got 15 touchdowns in 2024. He is a lockdown corner in so many ways. Above all, he is an unbelievable athlete. That is the number one bullet point when you talk about Travis Hunter. It's an athlete that we may never have seen before. And we are in a business of the best when it comes to athletes. Some background on Hunter. He was the number 1 recruit, if you recall, in 2022. Went and played at HBCU Jackson State. Then he follows Dion to Colorado. He won the Georgia High School State Championship. He set the Georgia receiving records in a single season for a high schooler in his career at 48. And then he's got all those trophies from his last year at CU. But I always love a good compliment sandwich as well. And so the pro I've got for him. World-class athleticism, like I mentioned. And that allows him to play both ways and play him at a very high level. Now, the con is he's not the biggest guy, and I don't think that's limited him so far. But in the NFL, sub 190 as a receiver, that might be a little bit difficult if you've got a corner who's ready just to punch you in the mouth the moment that ball is snapped. That can kind of throw you off your route a little bit, disrupt the timing. And in a game of inches, in a game of seconds, if you're not at your landmark, because so many times a quarterback is not throwing to a person, he's throwing to a time and space, right? Hey, I know after 2.5 seconds, you're going to be there, and I'm going to throw it there. And if you don't get the release you wanted, now that ball is going to be intercepted by the linebacker because you weren't there on time. Now, he's not just an incredible athlete when it comes to speed. He's also got an incredible ability to climb up a tree and win 50-50 jump balls. The guy's 6 foot, sub 200 pounds, but when the ball's in the air, he looks like a 6'4" receiver. You would think watching him on TV, oh, he's one of the biggest guys out there just on how high up he got for that football. So the athleticism off the charts, and we know how much Andrew Berry loves a good RAS score. And Travis Hunter, I mean, he is one of the best athletes we have seen at the combine, or just not at the combine, but going into the draft in recent history. So when it comes to him at number 2, with the right plan, I can be in on this. I think he's going to be a very good football player. I am fascinated to see what his role looks like depending on where he ends up. I think he is the ultimate example of, hey, this person could be incredible if he went to the right situation. And if he goes to the Browns and the plan is to play him full-time at receiver, I don't think that is the best situation. Whereas like the Titans, for example, at the Combine, they said we view him as a corner. I think what's best for Travis is to go play corner at the NFL level, and then as his career progresses, he takes more ownership on offense because he's got a better understanding of the scheme, the coaching staff, the playbook, and he elevates from maybe going 5 to 8 snaps on offense his rookie season to up to 10 to 12, 12 to 15. And by year 3 or 4, if he's got a good continuity and he's in a good, stable spot, the guy could be playing 100% on defense and coming in for 15 to 20 snaps on offense, whether that's in the red zone, 2-minute drill. He's just a playmaker you want on the field when all the chips are down. But I don't think it's going to be a good outcome. Not good outcome. I don't think it's going to be an optimal or best possible outcome if he's a full-time receiver and you try and play him at corner, because he's going to be out there, right, huffing and puffing, and now he's got to run 40 yards down the field with someone. Ball might not even be thrown his direction. I forgot who it was. I think it was Dan Orlovsky. One of the TV commentators raised a great point of when we look at Hunter's time at Colorado and the 1,200 snaps, that does not include all the wear and tear and the cardio he did on plays that never happened, right? Where you keep up with the receiver, you run down the field with him on a go route, but the whole play never existed because there was holding on the offense. You think his lungs just go, oh, well, since there's holding, now I'm no longer tired. Add on to the impressive level when you factor that in as well. So let me know, would you select Travis Hunter at pick number 2? If the Browns' plan is to play him at receiver, I'm going to pass. I don't think Travis Hunter, the wide receiver, well, I do believe he's a very talented receiver. To be number 2 overall, that's borderline historic. When's the last receiver we saw go number 2? You know what? I'm going to look that up right now. Reed's going to tell you about this Browns draft hat. Reed, you want to unmute yourself and then just fill them in because I'm very curious. So Reed, fill them in because I think they've all heard me talk about it a million times.
So, producer Reed here, filling in. We have the Browns draft hats, the 2025 draft hats. These are awesome. I love these. I really like the vine that looks like on the bill.
It's kind of like a Caesar's
It's like
Palace
a Caesar's
thing.
Palace
Yeah.
type thing, and then we got the guitar right next to the dog pound. You can get these at chatsports.com/Cleveland or CLE draft. There's a bunch of other stuff that you can get there as well. But with the draft coming up, gotta look stylish. And back to Petey.
Okay, I
with,
got it.
His fun-
Last wide receiver drafted second overall, Calvin Johnson. Yeah, 2007. I don't think Travis Hunter is at Megatron level. And I'm talking like Georgia Tech Megatron, right? You can't think about him, what he did with Detroit, because that's post-draft. Build up, and I don't have a great memory of the 2007 draft profile for Calvin Johnson, but he was off the charts at Georgia Tech. Before that, I don't see a whole lot here. Yeah, you got to go back a while. So that's why I'm thinking maybe not for a receiver, but a corner and receiver, okay, that I can get behind. Thank you. Yeah, before that, you got to go back to 1996, Keyshawn Johnson. So it's been a minute. Oh, no, maybe Charles Rogers in 2003, another Detroit Lion. I don't know who that is. Okay, Michigan State. Here we go. Let's pick a card. You nailed the Reed, by the way. Someone better buy the hat. That way our boss is like, all right, Reed, that was a well use of draft lookup time. So someone do Reed a favor and get the Browns hat. Okay. Which card do you want to go with?
Can I just go with Ace of Spades?
Yeah, you can do. That's kind of become your favorite. I'll go with King of Hearts. No. Seven of Spades. See you guys later.